Hello students, welcome to virtual classroom. So this is video number 6 of chapter number 3. In this video, we'll study autosomal and sex-linked inheritance. In the previous video, we have seen structure of DNA, structure of chromosome, types of chromosomes, then Morgan's experiment. Now we'll study about autosomal and sex-linked inheritance. So human contains somatic cells, that is 2n, means 23 pairs of chromosome, and they can be divided functionally as autosomes. They can be divided functionally as autosomes and sex chromosome. A single pair of chromosome is involved in sex determination, and remaining 22 pairs, they are called autosomes. So actually autosomes controls a variety of traits other than the sex. So these traits, therefore they are called as autosome linked traits, and transmission of characters other than sex linked traits from parents to their children through autosomes is called autosomal inheritance. It is called autosomal inheritance. So in this we have two examples. First is widow's peak and second is phenylketonuria, that is PKU. So first we'll study widow's peak. You can see a prominent V-shaped hairline on forehead, which you can see in this picture, figure number 1. It is determined by autosomal dominant gene, and widow's peak occurs in homozygous dominant, that is WW, and also heterozygous, means capital W and small w individuals. So individuals with homozygous recessive genotype, recessive means small w, they have a straight hairline, means they will not have widow's peak, like in figure number 2. So both males and females have equal chances of inheritance of widow's peak. Second is phenylketonuria, or it is also called as PKU. Again, it is an inborn metabolic disorder which is caused due to autosomal genes when recessive genes are present in homozygous condition, and the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase is not produced, and this enzyme is very much essential for the conversion of amino acid phenylalanine, which is an aromatic amino acid, into tyrosine. Both are amino acid, and due to this absence of this enzyme, phenylalanine is not converted into tyrosine. Therefore, phenylalanine and its derivatives, they are then accumulated in the blood and CSF fluid, that is cerebrospinal fluid, and it affects development of brain and causes mental retardation. So excess of phenylalanine is excreted therefore in the urine, and thus this disease is called phenylketonuria. So important points need to remember, that is autosomal recessive traits appear in both sexes with equal frequency, and these traits then tend to skip generation, means you will not find these traits one after the other generation. they have tendency to skip generation. So some characters are influenced by dominant genes while some by recessive genes present in autosomes. Like example, Huntington's disease. It is a dominant trait, while cystic fibrosis and sickle cell anemia, it is a recessive trait. So now next is sex-linked inheritance. Genes which are located on non-homologous region of sex chromosomes, they are called sex-linked genes. And the traits that are determined by sex-linked genes, they are called sex-linked traits. And now we know the structure of X and Y chromosome, and we know which are the homologous parts and which is the non-homologous region of the X and Y chromosome. So the inheritance of sex-linked genes from parents to their children is called sex-linked inheritance. And there are two types of sex-linked genes as X-linked and Y-linked. So X-linked genes, they are located on non-homologous region of X chromosomes only. And example of X-linked inheritance is hemophilia, then color blindness, night blindness, muscular dystrophy or myopia. While Y-linked genes, they are located on non-homologous region of Y chromosome only, and the example is hypertrichosis. Hyper means small, trichosis means hair. So there is excessive growth of hairs on ear pinna. Now what is X-linked inheritance genes? So genes which are located on X chromosome, they are responsible for X-linked inheritance and on the non-homologous region of the X chromosome, or they are also called as sex-linked genes. So X-linked genes have no corresponding allele in Y. It has no corresponding allele in Y chromosome, and the recessive sex-linked genes in human beings are responsible for sex-linked characters or traits. Just now we have seen the example: hemophilia, color blindness, night blindness, myopia and muscular dystrophy. And if you see Y-linked genes, means genes which are located on non-homologous region of Y chromosomes, and they inherit along with Y chromosome and are expressed only in male. So the condition just now we have discussed, excessive growth of hair on ear pinna, is seen only in case of males, that is hypertrichosis. Now we'll come to one by one example which are there in your syllabus. First is color blindness. Now color blindness is a sex-linked disease in the person which cannot distinguish between red and green colors, as both these colors they appear grey to them. So color blindness is caused by recessive gene. So this is a recessive disorder which prevents the proper formation of color sensitive cells in the retina of the eye, and which are necessary for distinction of red and green colors. And the genes for normal vision which are dominant and color blindness which are recessive are located on non-homologous region of X chromosome, but their alleles are absent in Y chromosome. So the gene for normal vision is represented as XC. Here you can see XC. And gene for color blindness is represented by X with small c. Then genotypes you can see in this table. For male it is XCY, that is for normal, and for female it is XCXC. And for colorblind it is XCY in males, and for females it is XCXC. While carrier in case of male we will not find, because this is located on, these genes for colorblindness is located on X chromosome only. So in female we can see carriers XCXC. So let us study color blindness with respect to two examples. First, case 1, marriage between colorblind male and normal female. So on the screen you can see a cross between colorblind male with normal female. So the genotype for colorblind male is XCY, while for normal female it is XCXC. And gametes formed will be XCY, XC and XC. And when F1 generation is raised, we will find 50% are carrier daughters while 50% are normal son. What we find? 50% carrier daughters while 50% normal son. So this is when colorblind male marries normal female, we get half of the children, mostly daughters, will be carrier while the son will be normal. Now if you see case number 2, when marriage between carrier daughters with normal male, now these daughters they are carrier with genotype XCXC and normal male with genotype XCY. So when F1 generation is raised, means first children which will born after the crossing between carrier daughter and normal male, we will get 25% normal female while 25% normal male and 25% carrier female while 25% color blind male. Understood? So in first case we get carrier daughters for the colorblind gene and normal son. So carrier daughters will not show colorblind symptoms, but the gene will be present in them. Here in second case, normal female, normal male, they are 25 to 25%, while again 25% we are getting carrier females. So they will show presence of genes, but they will asymptomatic. They will not be colorblind. While colorblind males, they will, in both the cases, genotypically and phenotypically, they will be colorblind. Now in case of males, only X and Y chromosomes are there, so this gene is present in X chromosome, so it is seen in this case. In first case, sons were normal, but with this case the male were colorblind, only 25%. Understood? So suppose 4 children will be produced, so one will normal female, if other is normal male, then the next will carrier female and one will colorblind male. So how this is the way X-linked recessive traits, they are passed from one generation to another, and they have tendency to skip generation. So here in first case we did not find any colorblind son or daughter. So here in the F1 generation, in first case, this gene phenotypically is skipped, while in this case it reappeared. So this is one example. Next is hemophilia. Hemophilia is also called as bleeder's disease. What it called as? Bleeder's disease. What is the issue with the hemophilic condition? In hemophilia, it is a blood disease in which the blood fails to clot. Blood fails to clot, or clotting is very slow. What do you mean by clotting? See, when we get injured, after our blood flows, and after some time, slowly, blood stops flowing. Means the clotting takes place. So clotting factors are very much essential in our body, and they are present in our blood plasma. And these factors, they are clotting factor 8 and 9, which are responsible for a clot to form. So in case of hemophilia, this is not happening. Either the clotting is very slow, or the blood does not clot. So the genes for normal clotting, they are dominant, and in case of hemophilia, they are recessive, and they are again located on non-homologous region of X chromosome, but their alleles are present in Y chromosome. If gene for normal clotting of blood is represented by, say in this figure, it is represented by XH, and gene for hemophilic by X small h. So you can see, or we can study this hemophilic condition with respect to two different cases. In case one, here in this slide you can see marriage between hemophilic male and normal female when take place, genotype obtained will be, or gametes obtained will be XHY and X capital H and X capital H. These are the 4 gametes. So in F1 generation we get 50% carrier daughters, means gene will be there but they will not be hemophilic. Asymptomatic condition will be there, and 50% normal sons. So since it is a recessive X-linked disease or disorder, females are carriers, while here normal sons are there, which are obtained 50%. Now if you study case 2, when marriage between carrier female or carrier daughter takes place with normal male, then 4 gametes which are formed, they are X capital H, X small h, again X capital H and Y. Now in this case, again similarly as in color blindness, here also we will get 20% normal female, 20% normal male, and 25% normal female, 25% normal male, 25% carrier female, and colorblind male will be again 25%. So the ratio is 1:1:1:1:1. So just now I said these recessive traits, X-linked trait, they have tendency to skip generation. So in first case, only carrier daughters will be there, and no symptomatic hemophilic son or daughter. While in second condition, we get all of the variety: normal male, normal female, carrier female, and color blind male. So the X chromosome which is with carrier daughter, it transferred to the male. That's why we are getting colorblind male. Next we will study sex determination in human beings. Sex determination in human beings, it is a chromosomal, or you can say the mechanism of sex determination is of XX and XY type. So this chromosomal sex is determined at fertilization period, and sexual differences begins in the 7th week of pregnancy. So sex is influenced by genetic as well as environmental factors, and females generally they are XX, means double X, and do not have Y chromosome, while males they are X and Y and they have a Y chromosome. So 23 pairs of chromosomes, means 46 chromosomes are present in both males and females. So in females 44 autosomes plus XX sex chromosomes will be there. And in case of males, 44 autosomes plus XY sex chromosomes will be there. So when we see cross determination, sex determination in human beings, or when a cross is there between male and female gametes formed after the process of meiosis, we will see XY here with male and XX from female. And in F1 generation, when these gametes they are crossed, we get 2 females and 2 males in the ratio of 1:1. In the ratio of 1:1. So during gamete formation, the diploid germ cell in the testes and ovaries undergo meiosis to produce haploid gamete, that is sperms and eggs, and the homologous chromosomes separate and enter into different gametes. So the human male is heterogametic and produces 2 types of sperms. One type of sperms contains 22 autosomes and 1 X chromosome, and the other type of sperm will contain 22 autosome and Y chromosome. So the human female is homogametic and produces only one type of eggs containing 22 autosomes and 1 X chromosome. So during fertilization, what happens? X chromosome, if X chromosome or the X containing sperm, you can say, fertilizes the egg having X chromosome, then resulting children will be with XX chromosome and will be a female. And if Y containing sperm fertilizes the egg having X chromosome, then the resulting children will be a male with X and Y chromosome. So this what indicates, since X and Y chromosomes are with male, and when XX is there it is female and XY is for male. So this indicates that the sex of the child depends only on the type of sperm fertilizing the egg. If it is X sperm, then female daughter will be there. If it is Y sperm, then male son will be there. And thus the father is only responsible for sex of the child and not the mother. Understood? So this is sex determination in case of human beings. Now we will see sex determination in birds. In case of birds, it is ZW ZZ type. So male is 2N plus ZZ and female is 2N plus ZW. So males are homogametic ZZ and have sex chromosome, and females are heterogametic with ZW, pair of sex chromosome. So when crossing is done, in F1 generation we get male bird and female bird with 2n ZZ in case of male and 2n ZW with respect to female bird. So here in birds it is ZW and ZZ type of you can say pattern. Now coming to sex determination in honey bees. Now in honeybees the sex is determined by number of sets of chromosomes received by individual. So such type of sex determination is called haplodiploid sex determination system, and the fertilized egg develops a female offspring. It shows diploid number of chromosome. Female diploid 2n number of chromosome, and an unfertilized egg develops as a male, that is the drone, by means of parthenogenesis. So thus the drones have haploid n equal to 16 number of chromosome, and the drones they produce sperm by mitosis. So when F1 generation is raised, what we obtain? Haploid male while diploid female. So this is something different in case of birds and honeybees when we compare with human beings. So this is all about today's topic. I hope you have understood. In the next video or in the next lecture, we will study genetic disorders. Till then, goodbye students. Take care.